Hey guys, Barry here, and welcome back to the IGS podcast. It's been nearly 2 years since the last podcast, and I apologise. And here we have the voice of Jim Woper from IronFall Invasion. I'm really excited about this show today, BradZiffer. Hey Brad, how's things? What's the crack?
Fine, thanks. How you doing?
Good. It's such an honour to have you on the show.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're celebrating 10 years of IronFall Invasion today. The game came out on Nintendo Switch last November, and I looked up the cast of the game online and knew Jim Woper, the main character of the game. So you were the only voice actor that I could find online. I can't believe that I'm talking to the main character of the game Ironfall.
Well, there you go. That worked.
It really is an honour. You have such a repertoire.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I've been doing voiceovers for, I get close to 20 years. It's 18, somewhere in there. I started out years ago in music first. I was very active. I went to school for theater, and I did less physical acting, more, voice acting, of course. But my intention was originally to do, theater and live acting. And when I got out of college, I stumbled upon a college, like a crash course at a local community college for voiceover, and it was kind of fascinating. It was like a 2-day crash course, and that kind of got me into the whole thing. I was like, wow, this could really be something fun, because I like to do voices and fun stuff like that. And it just panned out, and I had to give up all the other jobs I was doing because I couldn't keep up with the demand, and I just went full time into voice acting, and it's been quite a ride. Yeah.
And if I'm correct, you're from New Jersey, right?
Yes. And so I moved from North Jersey to South Jersey, so now I'm by the beach, and moved about a year ago, and I have couple properties all the way in the southern part of the state by the also on the beach. Some personal properties, some rental properties, but yeah, I'm bounced back and forth. My parents are still north, so I'm all over the place.
Oh, speaking of places to rent, I'm still waiting for my invite to come from that time I messaged you before.
You gotta come on down. You gotta yeah. We'll have a good time.
So tell us, how did you get into performing before taking your course in theatre?
Yeah, well, I guess when I was younger, I started out doing music in churches. So growing up around the age of 5, I started piano lessons. My parents kind of felt like I had a knack for music. I'd be able to sit down at the piano and just kind of plunk out a tune without really reading music. And this was prior to any lessons. So they enrolled me in some lessons, and from there I took lessons for about 10 years. And when I was in school, I was in like honors choir. I didn't really want to sing originally. And then I was active in different churches, Catholic churches, Assemblies of God churches, and they eventually put me on, worship teams and the music ministry. So I got a lot of experience doing that. So the music kind of started first, and I would dabble and, do silly voices, Scooby-Doo and different things like that. So I knew I kind of had a knack for voices. And but when it came time for college, I had a little bit of a health issue. I had E. coli, actually. This was back in my teens, and I was near death at that point, and it was pretty
Oh,
bad.
sorry to hear.
So I was thank you. I was out of school for a little bit because of that. But when it came time to kind of get back into things, I didn't really know at that point what I wanted to do. I think originally I was thinking I would be like a doctor or a physician's assistant. I really like alternative medicine, and I'm, big into the supplements and everything. But then I was, I really like the arts. I like being creative. So one of my local colleges near me, Montclair State University, they're big on theater and a great theater department. And so I went there. And well, actually, first I started out in some community college just to kind of get a BA and I'm sorry, associates. And then I went to get a BA in theater studies. Yeah. So, it all worked out. And then right after that, I went right into basically voiceovers, and didn't really do much in the way of live theater, but this is a lot of fun. I mean, you work from home. You have I'm stuck in a booth all day, but hey, it's a good gig.
I can see there, you have a Pac-Man clock.
Yes, the Pac-Man clock. There's a lot, thanks. There's a lot of stuff you can't see because the camera, but I have arcade miniature machines from Quarter Arcade and Replicade. They make I guess 1/8 and 1/4, whatever, 1/6 machines. And I got Burger Time. I've got Dig Dug, Miss Pac-Man, And downstairs, I got a collection of pinball machines and regular size upright arcade cabinets. I got Outrun, Sega Outrun. I also have the full size Dig Dug and Miss Pac-Man. But yeah, and I've always been into arcade. I grew up in the '80s, and I grew up in going to arcades, and I was always big onto video games, especially the classics. I started out with Atari, but when I would go to the arcades, I guess I loved Outrun. That's why I got the cabinet here. And I skee ball and all the typical arcade games. But Pac-Man was always like one of the biggies for me. But I have most of the consoles. Growing up, all the Nintendo, Sega. I had the Atari, Nintendo, Sega. I had Sega CD, the 32X. I had Xbox. I have the newest Xbox now. Yeah, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64. Covered the gamut of all the gaming systems. Yeah, Atari Lynx, the handheld, that Game Boy.
Did you ever think, growing up as a gamer, that you would do voice acting for video games?
I often thought, how cool would that be, to be the voice of a character, and, who knew I'd be doing this. But, some people, you don't really think about it. You watch TV, you watch commercials, you don't really think about the voice behind it. You just take it for granted. It's like, oh, it's a commercial, somebody's talking. But it's, it's a big industry. It's a big deal. It's a whole other world, behind the whole production side of things, and the voiceover. And voiceover has evolved. It used to be years ago, you'd go into New York, into a big studio or any major city, and you go to do a session, and somebody's directing you. But now, the internet has changed everything. Now you can be anywhere, as long as you got a solid connection and you got a good microphone and interface, and you can record wherever you are in your bedroom, And so I mean, it's really, the internet's changed everything. It's pretty amazing.
Have you ever been negatively affected by any of the work you've done online?
You mean like reviews, like people kind of like that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not. I haven't noticed anything so much. I don't really delve into. I mean, I've seen some of my completed work online, and usually the reaction's been pretty positive. And when it comes to games, I've done some games. I haven't. That's not my forte, I guess. I haven't done a ton of games, but I've done, enough. And most of the reviews have been pretty positive. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever really been negatively affected so much by social media.
If we take a look at some of the clients you've worked with: Microsoft, Dell, Warner Brothers, Marvel, Apple, Universal, Namco, Ford, Nintendo, John Deere. The list goes on and on. You have such a repertoire.
Yeah, it was great. I'm trying to think back. The funny thing is, I do so much stuff. And every day, it could be 4 projects, could be 8 projects, could be 1 project, but it's always something different. I'm trying to remember back. It was a commercial for Nintendo. I just can't think of the game it was at the time. But yeah, I remember doing it, and it was a lot of fun. And I think it was for an in-store display and commercial, maybe to be played on somewhere else. But I remember something about in-store. It might have been something with Mario Kart or Mario Party or something like that.
So we are here to celebrate the 10th anniversary of IronFall Invasion today. I'm not sure if you're aware of this because of how many projects you've done since then, but IronFall Invasion has such a cult following. It's huge. You said you started recording for the game back in 2014?
Yeah, so I did a little searching into my old email account, and I was hired in 2014 through one of the sites, voices.com, which is, I do a lot of work through. And yeah, I found the original. I don't think it was the end client. I think there was a client working as a middleman that kind of orchestrated the whole job. Let me see if I could just pull some info. I found the original scripts, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. These were the people that were like in touch with me. I'm not even sure the name of the company, but I guess it's a French. I think they're based out of Canada. Yeah.
Yeah, because the script I got from VD Dev was in French, so maybe it was translated.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Well, they wanted me. Yeah, I guess what they sent me was translated, but they wanted me to play, Jim, Fleming, and Scientist. It was 3. That's what I was asked to do. Now, I don't know if, I know obviously Jim was used. I don't know if the other 2 characters, I'm assuming.
They were used. So for Samantha
Yeah.
Finch, for example, they had used the same voice actors when rescuing people
Hmm.
from the labs level. And for Jim, it was like Jim, well, was talking to himself sometimes. It was quite
Oh,
funny.
okay.
Nothing was
Yeah.
altered at all.
Yeah. Well, those are the three. Yeah, they originally were asking me, and yeah, for the audition, I had to read. Looks like three different lines.
Oh,
Um,
do your audition lines again now, please.
well, all right. Let's see. So one line was, it says, "I secured the area. No sign of Fleming. I'm going upstairs." And another one was, "Can you hear me? I'm on the third floor. The doors are locked. Fleming must be here." And then another one is with some shock. "I'm a little stunned, but I'm all right. There was a trap in the elevator. I'm taking the other one."
Yeah, for my direct presentation, I just had to get you to say, cool. It was perfect. It was perfect.
Thanks. You know, when I listened back, obviously it's 10 years ago, I sounded a little younger, I suppose, but, or maybe I just am so used to hearing my voice, but I sounded a little bit, younger. But yeah, I mean, yeah, those are, and then looking into the script, I see those famous one liners like, cool or bonus or.
So let's take a quick break and take a look at the new multiplayer trailer in action right now for IronFall Invasion.
Yeah, great. Sounds good. Okay.
So we are here, of course, to celebrate 10 years of IronFall Invasion. And looking back, the work that VD Dev did was incredible back then. There was 3 originally on the team, but unfortunately Fernando passed away. But they managed to give a home console experience on the go on 3DS systems. It was fantastic. And then they re-released it for the Switch last November.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. I was watching, videos and gameplay footage. It's a great game. It looks awesome the way it came out.
If you ever manage to get yourself a Switch, I'll get you a code myself.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna be getting one when the new one comes out because my son, he's 5. He wants one, so we're gonna share it, I suppose.
Share.
Yeah, it'll be daddy's, but he'll, he'll come and use it.
Tell us more about what games you played growing up.
Well, the traditional games that I kind of knew from the arcades. You got, of course, Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Asteroids, Q*bert, Burger Time. Um, the games that I got on the consoles, like with Nintendo, I liked, of course, all the Mario games, Castlevania, the whole series, Zelda. I mean, Donkey Kong Country, I remember being really cool the first time I saw that. I guess Rare was the developer, and that was on the 64. Or was that no Super
Super
Nintendo? That was
Nintendo,
Super
yeah.
Nintendo. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. So that was really cool. I remember when it first came out, those 3D, graphics. So I was a big Donkey Kong Country fan. I played a lot of GoldenEye on the 64. I love that game. And I actually, so there's a new company, Analog, which you may have heard of. They're developing newer consoles, like updated. I think they're getting some of the same hardware, but they're like upgrading it. So I have their Nintendo, their upgraded Nintendo that does 1080p and upscales, and I'm getting their new 64 that they're coming out with.
Oh, what's
and
that called? Is it the Analog 3D?
it's called Analog. Yeah, yeah, something like that. Analog is the company. Some yeah, yeah. It's pretty wild what they can do. I mean, I'm excited to play GoldenEye on on that thing. But I have quite a collection of games. I probably have like 80 Nintendo cartridges, NES games, and quite a few of the other consoles. And I remember even Sega CD. I've always been a huge fan of Dragon's Lair, and Dragon's Lair 2 is Don Bluth. You know, the whole animated game, and I have it on quite a few consoles. But I first got it on Sega CD, but it was quite pixelated. It wasn't quite clear, and then after that, I think I got it on maybe for the computer on DVD. But yeah, that was always a big. I played that in the arcades quite a bit. Dropped a ton of money on that. It was a couple quarters for like one try at the time. I remember, but yeah. So, but I guess all the big hits. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. Mad Dog McGree, that was on Sega CD. I remember you're supposed to have a light gun and you shoot like in the old west and you're shooting guys. That was like live action video. That was really cool. And Sewer Shark was big on Sega CD. And yeah, I mean on Xbox, actually the next big thing I'm excited to play is the new Indiana Jones that just came out. So I haven't gotten that one yet, but I want to try that. And yeah, my son loves Ori. Yeah, that's really graphically, it's pretty amazing. It's a really beautiful game. The music, the graphics, pretty yeah. So I've always been like as a big gamer, but I think my heart always kind of gravitates towards the original arcade games and those original upright ones. And I have all the reloaded Atari, Asteroid, Centipede, yeah, whatever I can't think of the other one, but yeah, I have all those on Xbox, like the reloaded versions and stuff.
Let's just quickly mention that you've done work for Fallout New Vegas, Brave New World, a mod, playing Swank, Batman Choose Your Mission, miniseries online, and Lego Ultra Agents. So, for Android and iOS, incredible. That it's so cool that I'm talking to Batman right now. And I live beside Gotham City,
Very nice.
as Liverpool was used for Robert Pattinson's The Batman, and you're part of Lego, like another global franchise.
Yeah. That I remember more so. Well, I don't remember so much about Fallout. I think they said a Swank is the character I'm playing. I think is what I read. Yeah, but I know with Lego, I do remember vaguely the sessions. I think we did a couple of them, the Ultra Agents, and I think my friend actually at the time he scoured the internet, and I don't know if he found this on eBay or Amazon, but he got me the miniature of the character I played, and yeah, so I have it here on my desk, and but yeah, I don't remember how many episodes or what I did of that, but yeah, that was really cool. And with Batman, so I just remember that Warner Brothers, I guess they found me or they were pitched my voice and they had to approve me. And so then once you're on the approved list, they can call you at any time for Batman or whatever they've got you down for. So I'm one of a few voices, I guess, that do Batman for them. And the videos are appearing on DC Kids channels and different outlets online. And some of it was stop motion animation. Actually, when Spin Master launched the Batman toy line, which I have here, that's in my, you can't see it, but I have the full and the smaller. But when they launched it, I was doing the voice with the commercials, not the actual toy, like not where you pull a string and but like when in the promos for it. And then they did some animated shorts, things for DC Kids and other outlets. So yeah, it was a couple of years of doing that, and it's been a little bit of time. But once in a while they call me up and we have to do something else. So it's just cool knowing that I'm on the roster for for Batman.
It is. You're part of DC.
Yeah, that's really neat. It's really neat. It's an honor. Yeah.
So let's talk about the music you're into, as I feel we have a lot in common, like the Rat Pack,
Yeah.
Sinatra, the greatest of all time.
Yeah, oh, I love Sinatra. Growing up, my parents were really big on Sinatra and Dean Martin and all the greats. And I listened to that growing up, so I think I developed an ear for the crooner style of music, and that kind of influenced just my style. And So now I sing a lot of, yeah, 50s and 60s, a lot of like doo-wop and oldies, and I perform in southern Jersey in towards the tip. There's Wildwood Crest and Wildwood. It's like a beach resort, but they're huge on doo-wop and old, oldies music. And a lot of it originated there. And guys like Bobby Rydell, another huge, he passed away more recent, but he was, really big in that whole scene. And I actually did a cover of his Wildwood Days, and I put that online, and it's on all major retailers on Spotify. And a portion of the proceeds go to the Bobby Rydell Foundation, which they have in his name. But yeah, I mean, I've always loved that whole style of music, and my voice just kind of fits real well. But yeah, like Elvis, like I said, Bobby Darin, Roy Orbison, Sinatra, and I listen to some Michael Bublé. I don't do a whole lot of current stuff. I kind of just gravitate toward listening to the older stuff, and I'm always looking to see what else I can cover. So I'm always scouring playlists of oldies and whatnot. But yeah, if you go on my YouTube channel, you can see all my covers. And when I'm down by the beach, I'll film videos and I'll use them as backdrops to the music, and it's relaxing and it's a nice little watch.
We should do a duet sometime. Me and my shadow. We have the gear.
Yeah, we should do that. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the gear that I have, I mean, yeah, you can use it for voiceover. It's kind of overkill for voiceover because I have, tons of analog gear, from EQs to compressors to preamps. Of course, the preamps back there by the booth, I have some racks of preamps. Those are great for voiceover, but also for vocal recording for songs. But some of this is for mastering, mixing and mastering, and I've got racks of gear all around me. But yeah, I mean, the voiceover and the music kind of when I started developing my studio, I don't know, I guess I've always wanted, I'm a perfectionist, but I always like having the best. That's always kind of been my, if I can afford it, or if anybody can afford it, it's better to start out with better gear, just because you'll sound better from the get-go. And I think that's what was a huge factor in me booking more work, back then, because a lot of guys were using just real basic stuff. And, here I am with a Neumann U87 microphone and like high-end preamps that they use at Capitol Records and high-end converters. And everybody was like, you sound like you're HD, and everybody sounds like they're recording on a cell phone. And so I think that's what played a huge role in getting my start. I sounded really good. And I started building a studio with all high-end stuff. And it just kind of like one thing led to another. And that's why I've just developed such a love for analog. And it just happens that I love retro gear and stuff with tubes and stuff that they would have used back then, like Pultec equalizers, and a lot of Universal Audio gear is also tube based. But yeah, so it's the music and the VO kind of go hand in hand, but I use a lot of the same gear. And
You started your own recording label, Starlux Records, under 2 years ago.
yeah, so I started it more recent. The whole idea of Starlux was I wanted to have a label to release my own music under. I've been approached, a couple times to either, join not huge labels. We're not talking like Capitol or anything, but some smaller labels or private labels. And I've always felt like I want to be in charge of my own material. I don't want somebody to kind of have the license and the rights. So I figured, what if I just start my own label and put music out under my label? So that's sort of what I did. I started Starlux, and maybe over the years I'll take some artists on, because I do work with different people, more local artists, and we'll do demos or full CDs. But right now it's pretty much just for my own personal use and to release music under, just to have like an umbrella, you know. And yeah, but like I said, most of the stuff that I've been doing has been oldies, 50s, 60s, and this year I'll be releasing some singles, and I'm working with a singer who used to sing with the Happenings, and like "See You in September" was one of their hits, and he toured with them for many years, and so we're going to be recording together, doing a series of duets. Might put out an album. We're not sure yet. We're going to do a single, probably put that out shortly. So the album, if excuse me, if we do one, we'll probably, I'll probably put that out under Starlux, and yeah, so we'll see what happens. But a lot of exciting things coming up. I've done a lot of duets with some Ed Rambo. He's another big star from the 50s and 60s. He did "Concrete and Clay" was his hit song. He co-wrote Navy Blue with Diane Renee, who was the singer, and I do a lot of duets with Ed. He's still recording. He lives in New York. We do a lot of things virtually. He'll send me audio, and compare. We'll do a mix. We'll send it back and forth. So we've released a couple songs. You can see those on my YouTube channel as well. Yeah, it's a lot of cool things. Thank you.
Let's talk about the future of voice acting and AI. It's really affecting the industry already.
Yeah, it is, because and it's already affecting the industry. As it improves, it'll be worse. It'll affect us. I mean, like AI has a lot of positives, has a lot of good points. I mean, like Chat GPT can write you anything you want, and you can do music with AI now. It'll just generate you a track in seconds based on your whatever criteria you give it. But when it comes to voiceover, so I'm very much against somebody taking my voice as a model and making a model off my voice. So I've been approached numerous times, and some people want to pay you $10,000, some people want to pay you 20,000, whatever. But I'm like, no, that's where I draw the line, because it's a buyout. It might sound great up front, they'll give you a lump sum, but then they could do whatever they want with your voice forever and ever, and you're basically signing an agreement to just let them have your voice, and then they'll just use a computer to make unlimited voiceovers. So kind of there goes your career. So I'm very much against that aspect of it. If somebody was to approach me and wanted to create a model of my voice where I'm in control of it, maybe that's different. But in terms of jobs, yeah, I mean, I would say it's affecting. A lot of clients would prefer to just some for lesser or less major projects, they'll use an AI voice. But for big projects, it still sounds computer generated. It's not quite there yet. And what happens is I'll be presented a project with a scratch vocal. So I have to kind of record my voice to the timing of the scratch. It's good for scratch vocals, temporary voices in a project. But when it comes to the final, a lot of big clients still want a real, human actor, which I think is good, obviously. But we'll see what happens as time goes on.
So earlier today, we just revealed the new Greenhouse level, which is out right now in a brand new update for IronFall Invasion on the Switch. Now, Brad, you have something you also want to reveal for the 10th anniversary of IronFall. Can you remember it?
Yeah, I have it. Well, yeah. So you can go to ironfallgame.com and check out all the cool stuff on the game, and that's right now, right? It's official. It's the official site.
It's
up
live
right now, live, right? Yeah, it looks great. It looks really cool.
Of course, I'm not saying I know anything or Brad knows anything, because this isn't official or us revealing anything, I promise. But if it were to happen, would you be open to playing Jim again for an Ironfall Invasion sequel, perhaps?
Yeah, no, I'd definitely be open to it. Yeah, I've always been open to reprising roles and continuing work on games and stuff like that. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I mean, if they're ever looking for me, you can send them my way, and be happy to continue on in this journey. Yeah.
So, Brad, I have an exclusive question for you that you don't know about.
Oh wow.
This question came this morning from Death Stranding's voice actor Tommy Earl Jenkins, who plays Die Hard Man in Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding game.
Okay.
So here it is. If you could create your own original ice cream flavor, what would it be and why?
Oh goodness. Oh geez, I don't know. I mean, I love. Trying to think. Well, I love chocolate, but I don't know what I would put. I guess I like honey, and I don't know. something with chocolate, and but I don't know what I would add to it. Geez, that's a good question though. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big chocolate fan. I mean, I'm a big organic health nut. The thing is, I don't eat a whole lot of like desserts and sugar stuff. Not that I'm low carb, but I mean, I'm really into like health and natural foods and healthy eating. But I love chocolate, and I buy a lot of organic chocolate things, and so I don't know, something with chocolate. I have to think about that. What else I would add to the chocolate? But maybe make it a swirl. I mean, I love chocolate and vanilla. I don't know.
Chanilla?
That's hard.
Or a churl?
Yeah, oh, yeah, that could be a good name. But I love honey. I love like raw honey. I add it to things, and manuka honey is medicinal, but that's a whole other. But hey, add some manuka honey to some chocolate ice cream. It'll be healing. It'll be good and healthy for you.
Brad, it's been an honour to speak to you. Jim from IronFall Invasion on the show. Where can we find you on social media?
Yeah, so Facebook, you can just find me BradZiffer. Just look me up. On Instagram and YouTube, it's BradZiffer Productions. On Instagram, I kind of post a variety of things, some voiceover, some music. My YouTube is mostly music covers. TikTok, you can just find me under my name. I have my website, bradziffer.com. And if you ever want to reach me directly, it's brad@bradziffer.com. And those are the covers the main sites, I guess.
Can I ask you quickly, sorry, before we wrap up? Not in a negative light, but did you find some of the lines cheesy when recording them?
Yeah, sometimes sometimes lines can be a little yeah, I do a lot of work, or I've done a lot of work for Elephant Games, Big Fish. They do a haunted hotel series. I played James as a recurring character and some other characters. Even with like, so I'm trying to say, like, to compare against something else, because I've done it quite a bit over the years. You always come across a line that might come across a little cheesy, or you don't really know how you're going to act it. Or a lot of times they have to give you the emotion, because you'll read it blindly, not knowing how the actor is, or you're not seeing a visual. So you have to know, what kind of emotion am I putting behind it? Am I panicked? Am I happy? Am I excited? So a lot of times they will write in the emotion. So looking back on the script here, it kind of gives you some idea of what's happening. It says, like, to give you the scenario. And I mean, but I don't necessarily see emotion written on this one. But yeah, I mean, you come across a line that might seem a little funny. But I guess back then I was still also new, or a little newer, and so I just kind of took it in stride and went with it.
Yeah, I think that the voice acting in the game, even though it's indie, it's perfect. I just love everything overall with the game, no matter how cheesy it may sound. Thank you so much. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you enjoy it. Thank you. And thanks for having me again. I really appreciate it.
And of course, if anyone needs a voiceover or a track mixed or mastered, you can contact Brad by email, brad@bradziffer.com, or message him through Facebook and Instagram. You can of course check us out on YouTube and X, and for more Nintendo and IronFall Invasion, keep it right here at IGS. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Bye.
All right. Take care, everybody. Thanks, Barry.